Good afternoon, everyone. So we have 5 people here with me. We are 6, and we are going to start with a lesson number 5, which is rising, falling intonation. And we had a couple of questions from that chapter, 8 questions we had. And the first question is referring actually to something that we talked about last week. Do you remember what we talked about last week? What was the topic of last week, if you remember? You can raise your hand. Yes, Andy, what was the topic?
The last week was the lesson number 4. We were talking about the uh, when we do the stress power and like how long we take, and if we so also we also mentioned about the intonation a little bit, and that was the main reason you say that you're not gonna focus so much in that because we're gonna have more information this week. That means today. But pretty much from number 3, I think also until number 7, as I was reading on the material on lesson number 5, we be kind of similar. So for rising, falling intonation, and how we stress the syllables and things like that.
Right. I don't know if you remember also, all of you, that we talked about the different type of words, the grammatical names of the words. We also talk about which words are stressed and which words are not stressed. We said the difference between the sentence stress and the word stress. We said that when we talk about word stress, we talk about syllables, and when we talk about sentence stress, we are referring to words. We mentioned that it is impossible for you to know in which syllable the stress goes. You need to listen to the word first, and then you, after listening to the word, you know where the stress goes. But different than this part, what I mean is it is impossible to know what the stress is in a word, but it's possible to know where the stress is in a sentence. And when I say sentence, I mean which word of the sentence has the stress, which is the one that sounds more than the others. We saw the content words and the function words, and we said that content words have meaning and function words have no meaning rather than the grammatical purpose that they express. And that's it for the chapter number 4 or lesson 4, which name was sentence stress and rhythm. So now we go to chapter 5, lesson 5, I might say, and we have a first question. The first question is, what is rhythm? What is rhythm? That was the first question that I included on that lesson. Let's see if you found that. Yes, Leandro, what is rhythm?
Teacher, I found that rhythm is a strong, regular, repeated pattern of movement or sound.
Yes, that's right. That's right. Albania, do you have something different?
So I find, teacher, that the rhythm is the measure follow of the words and phrase in verse or prose of determined by the relation of long short of unstressed or stressful syllables.
Right. Stress syllable. Misael, do you have something else?
Rhythm is one of the fundamental aspect music and theory.
Right, right. That's true. Now, I don't know if you remember, but rhythm, if you want to give an easy definition, rhythm is the way that you say something. Okay, so the way that you say it, that's what we call rhythm. Give me just 1 second here, just one moment. Sorry about that. Okay, so yes, now we have a second question, which is intonation. So if rhythm is the way that we say something, then what is intonation? My internet is killing me if you lose me. Yeah, I will repeat the question just in case. What is intonation? Andy?
Yes, teacher, I have the intonation is the formation of tone. I
Uh-huh.
mean, the tone of what we say, like how, like low or high, we say, we pronounce some words.
Yes, that's true. That's true. So Andy says that intonation is the tone of what we say, right? So that's intonation. Very important. One question, how many tones are there? How many tones are there? One, two, three, four. How many, Leandro?
Four, teacher.
Four tones, right? Right, very good, very good. We have four tones. Can anyone else say the tones? I mean the names of the tones, because we have four. So let's see who knows. How many tones? We said four, but what's their name? Oh, Leandro again? Oh, hold on, Leandro. We have Albania. Albania, what do you say?
We have a extra high tone. And wait, let me see.
Yes.
uh, we have high tone, extra, extra, and high tone. I don't know. I forget.
One is high. Okay, one is high tone, and
Yeah,
the other one is extra high tone.
yeah.
So that's
And
two. We need two more. If you don't have it, don't worry. Look, Leandro is gonna say it there. Leandro, go on.
Okay, teacher. Normal tone and low tone.
So we have four tones. We have normal, high, extra high, and low. Four tones we have. Very good. All right, let's go then to the next question. This is a difficult question, okay? In what situations do you use the tones? For example, if you wanna use the high tone, when do you use the high tone when you speak? When? In what situation? What circumstances? The answer, maybe the answer was not there, okay? Yes, go on, Andy.
When mic was off. So, like you say, the answer was not kind of clear on the material. I was searching, I mean, in another part of internet and things like that, and I find the information that what intonation like we use for different tone is when you change from one tone to another. And for me, also my personal opinion, when you ask when we use like extra high tone is for me when you're trying to get more attention or
Ah,
depending where you are speaking. Maybe if you are like kind of business conference or you trying to convince someone to do things, for me, in my personal opinion.
right, right. Yes, yes, that's right, that's right. So Andy says that we use the high tone when we wanna call the attention. For example, imagine that you're talking to your daughter, your husband, wife, or whoever in the house. If you are calling that person and that person doesn't answer to you, like you see that the person is not listening to you, what you do is that you use the high tone, right? You say, hey, or Andy, you see, you're using the high tone. Then the normal tone, or like the normal tone, normal tone. When do you use the normal tone? When?
So in this moment, I use here a normal tone.
Right, right. So normal tone is just the regular way that you speak, right?
Exactly.
The regular way that you speak, that's when you use the normal tone. And the low tone. When do you guys think that we use the low tone? When? The low tone. When do we use it?
In my personal opinion, the way you use the lower one is when you are that kind of difficult place that you cannot or maybe when you're trying to not convince somebody to
Mhm.
do something, but is trying to get something from somebody else,
Right.
and you're trying to go slower.
Okay. Okay. All right. Oh, I see another person. Very good, Andy. I see another person raise hands. Okay, we're gonna repeat them. Leandro, what do you say?
Teacher, I think that we can also use the low tone that when we wanna say a secret to somebody, that we be like, if you want this and this.
Right, right, right. Okay, now Andy says you use low tone when you want to convince. Leandro says you use low tone when you say a secret. And Albania, do you want to say something else?
Yes, teacher. I think we use the long tone when we speak about love.
Oh,
I,
okay. All right, that's true. That is true. That is true. You want to be soft, right? Soft and slow. Yeah. Yes, you're right. You're right. You're right. So basically, we use the low tone for all those situations. And if you don't want to call the attention to, right? Like a secret, or you want to say something and you don't want people to listen to you, right? So that's when you use the low tone. Very good. All of you are correct. Okay. Then I'm gonna say the extra high tone. So we have normal tone is the regular way that we speak. High tone is when you want to call the attention. Low tone is when you don't want to call the attention, right? And the extra high tone, we use it when you want to express feelings and emotions. If you have a surprise, if you are afraid, if you are very happy, right? That's when you use the high tone. Like, oh my God, like whether you are surprised about something, whether you are afraid, that's when we use the extra high tone. Okay. Well, at the end, I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. I'm going to show you a very quick summary of everything that we're saying right now. My internet is killing me, so bear with me. Uh, Next question. How are the tones represented? How are the tones represented? That's the question. How do you represent the tones?
Teacher, during I was reading the material, I was reading like when it's kind of difficult or
Yeah.
maybe not possible to
Mm-hmm.
identify the tone the person I use, and or maybe I mean on the material is asking like ask your partner or your teacher
Right.
to speak and see if you can kind of identify if it's low, extra, high, or
Right.
how we can, I mean, how can we manage those things?
Don't worry, I'm going to show you that now. Okay, let me show you. Okay, we're gonna jump because I have an explanation for that. So we're going to jump to question number 8. Uh, okay, let's do question 6, 7, and 8, and then I'm gonna go back to question number 5. What is a shift? What is a shift? And if you think about that, a shift is there is a normal definition for that. What is a shift? If I ask you what is shift, what do you understand by shift? What is that? Shift. You have to look for the questions. Uh, yes. Oh, okay. Albania, what is a shift?
Teacher, as I was reading, I find something is say the she indicate uh, by a straight vertical line as that between how and are in the first example
Mhm.
about or that between are you.
Okay. All right.
The was
So
I find the book.
very good. Very good. It's very related to what shift is. Yes, that is true. Samuel, did you want to say something else?
Yes, I have other definition where
Uh-huh.
the shift is to move something to different place or position.
Okay. Yes, that is true. That's true. Now, shift, shift, when we drive, right, motorcycle, cars, there is a shift from one gear to another gear. Maybe you are in the first, then you are in the second, then you are in the third, you know? Shift, when you work, there are morning shift and evening shift or afternoon shift, night shift. So a shift is a change. So when we talk about phonetics, shift is the change from one tone to another tone. If we are speaking in a normal tone and then you change to high tone, that's shift. That's what we call shift. And I'm going to show you an example of shift when we give the when we give the answer for the next two questions. Remember, I'm gonna show you that. All right, the next question was, what is a glide? What is glide? Glide. What is a glide? Yes, Andy?
For me, that question was kind of confusing. I test you, teacher, this is the right one because I like, come on, I don't find that answer on
Right.
lesson number 5. Yes. Definition I found there for that was glide is included speech sound when the stream is like kind of frictional and is modified the position of the tone.
Mhm.
It's like when you trying to accommodate your tone and the lips also.
Right. Yes, yes, that's true. What about you, Leandro? Did you find something else?
Yes,
You are on mute.
okay, teacher. It say here that the slide, the voice slide from one tone to another while it is pronouncing a syllable.
Okay. All right. That's also correct. You and Andy are right. Okay, very good. Let me give you the last question, and then we're gonna go to the explanation about those questions. When is intonation most necessary? When is it most necessary? Correct intonation. When is correct intonation most necessary? My internet again. Albania.
Yes, teacher, I find that is most necessary at the end of the sentences. Is this
That is
position?
true.
Yeah, is the position most frequently rise about normal and falls below the norm.
That is true. That is true. And in the next chapter, in the next lesson, we are going to see why intonation at the end is most important. Now, let me show you a little review. We can say a review for lesson 5. Okay. So I'm just going to repeat very quick what we said and what we talked about. So here we have lesson 5, rising, falling intonation, okay? Rising means to go up and falling means to go down, okay? Here you can see the different tones that we discussed. So we have 4 tones. We have low tone, normal tone, high tone, and extra high tone. Okay, so the low tone, we use it not to call the attention. For example, when you whisper, when you're saying a secret, when you use a soft voice, that's when you use the low tone. Then the normal tone, logically, is the normal way of talking, the regular way that you speak. The high tone, as we said, we use it to call the attention, a strong voice. And the extra high tone is used to express feeling and emotions. Maybe when you cry, when you shout, when you smile, when you laugh, I mean, right? That's when you're expressing feelings and emotions. That's when you use the tone, and those are the 4 tones. If you have questions, meanwhile I'm explaining, you can raise your hand and I will give you the opportunity to talk. Next, is very important to know this. Rising falling intonation is used for statements, WH questions, and commands. I mean, if you see a sentence, okay, because look, we're talking about sentences. We are not talking about words alone. We're talking about sentences. How do you know in which sentence you have rising falling intonation? Well, You have rising, falling intonation in statements, okay? What is a statement? A statement is whatever you say or whatever you might say that is not a question or a command. Command is an order, okay? So whatever you say is not a question or a command is a statement, okay? For example, we have, I hate eating here. She doesn't read much. We will study later. You see, those three questions are not three questions. Those three sentences are not questions and are not commands. You're not asking questions. You're not giving orders. You see? So that's a statement. Whatever you say that is not a question or a command. Then what is, because remember, we have statements, we have WH questions, and we have commands. Those are the three sentence categories that belong to the rising falling. Right now, we saw what a statement is. Now, we have WH questions. Listen, when you have a question that starts with WH, including how, you see, including how, because how is a WH question because it has an H and it also has a W. It doesn't start with it, but it's there. So any question that starts with when, which, who, whom, what, where, which, why, that belongs to the rising falling intonation. Okay, so pay attention to that. And the last one, the commands. Listen, a command is any sentence in which you give an order. Any sentence that is an imperative one, okay, is a command. For example, study tonight, go home, don't do that, tell your mother the truth, wash the dishes, don't tell me that. You see, all those sentences that are orders, that are commands, that you use it with the imperative, they belong to the rising falling intonation. Just going back, remember, how do you know that a sentence has rising falling intonation? Well, if it is a statement, if it is a question that has WH, or if it is an order, if it is a command, any type of sentence like that belongs to the rising falling intonation. Okay, now you can watch the video again if you feel that I'm going too fast, you know. Here, that was the question. How do you represent the tones? Okay, how do you represent the low tone? How do you represent the normal tone, the high and the extra high? Very easy. Let me see if I explain it better here. Okay. Okay. How do you represent the tones? You represent the tones with horizontal lines. You see, here, this is a horizontal line. Here, there is another horizontal line. And here you have another horizontal line. So the tones are represented by horizontal lines, okay? So look at that. Tones are horizontal. That's a line, okay? Now, how do you know which is the normal tone, which is the low tone, which is the high tone, etc.? If you see that the horizontal line, horizontal, right? Horizontal. If the horizontal line is right under the word, just right under the word, you see, is the normal tone. So the normal tone is represented with a line, a horizontal line, just right under the word. The high tone, as you can see here, is represented with a horizontal line just right above the word, very close to the word, right? That's the high tone. The low tone is represented some distance below the word. You see? Here, some distance below the word. And the extra high, which we don't have here, is the opposite of the low one, of the low tone, because you represent it with a line some distance above the word. Okay, so let me go back so you can see. Here, low tone is represented with a line some distance below the word. Normal tone is represented by a horizontal line right below the word. High tone represented by a horizontal line right above. Above means over, on top, right? The word. Now you can see it here clearly. You see? So this is horizontal and this is vertical. So the vertical lines here, the vertical lines that separates the normal tone from the high tone, you see this line? How do you call that line? What's the name for that line? Let's see if someone knows. What is the name for the line that separates one tone from another tone? Sorry, what did you say?
Vertical, profe.
Yes, but that is a vertical line. Yes, but that has a name. What is what separates one tone from another tone? Leandro.
The shift.
A shift. A shift is represented by a vertical line that separates, in this case, the normal tone, you see, from the high tone. So what is it what separates normal tone from high tone? A line, a vertical line,
Align the shift.
and the vertical line is the shift, as you can see here in the image. You see? Look at that. Here it is, shift. Now, what is it what separates the high tone here from the low tone here? You see, love has high tone. You has low tone. So what separates the high tone from the low tone? A shift, someone said, right? So how many shifts do we have in this sentence? How many shifts do you have in I love you?
2, teacher.
Two shifts because you see two vertical lines. And how many tones do we have in this sentence?
3.
Three tones because you have three vertical lines. Sorry, not vertical, horizontal lines. You see one here, another here, and another here. Normal tone, high tone, low tone, right? So that's how you do it. Maybe you are wondering,
Three, teacher.
yes, very good, Andy, that's true. Uh, Maybe you are wondering, how do I know
We had
where
three.
to
We
put the
have
tone?
teacher. Three.
Andy is having a delay. Yes, Andy, don't worry. So
Yes, and
maybe you're wondering
I mean,
what are the tones, right?
yes, and
So you are going to learn that later. So not right now. We're gonna learn that later. What is the difference between a shift and a glide, where the shift is represented by a vertical line, but the glide is represented by a curving line. You see, this is a curving line, like a diagonal line. You see here, that's the difference between shift and glide. Shift is vertical line, but glide is just a curving line. And that's it. That's it. I don't want to go on because then we're going to keep learning in the next chapter, the next lesson, how to mark the tones and what it means rising, falling. For example, just a final idea for you. Uh, it is called rising, falling because at the end, of the sentence, it has to go up, high tone, and it has to go down, low tone. Okay, that's why it's called rising, going up, falling, going down. Rising, falling intonation. As you can see at the beginning of the presentation, I had rising, going up, falling, going down, and that's what we have here on the example. It went up, it went down. Rising, falling intonation. And that's it. Now it's time for questions. Maybe I explained too fast. I know maybe it's a lot of information, but your job is when I upload the video, you have to rewatch the video, pause it, take your time, because this is not something that you're going to understand only by listening to me only one time. Okay. Yes, Leandro, go on.
Yes, teacher, I'm a little confused because I don't know if it's a slide or glide.
Listen, so you guys,
The same question happened to me.
okay, okay, okay. Let me go back to the presentation. You know you have a confusion because you don't know the words. Uh, Look, glide, glide is when the voice slides. This is a slide. You see, sliding. You see that line like that? That's what we call slide.
Okay, teacher.
Here, the voice slides, you see, from one tone to another. When it's kind of slippery, right? If you are if you are in a slippery place that you slipping from one place to another, you sliding from one place to another, right? So this is what happens here. A glide is when the voice slides from one tone to another. So in the same syllable, okay? So that's what it is. Slide and glide are different words. Slide is when the voice goes from one tone to another in the same syllable. That's what sliding means. That diagonal line, that's a slide. That's what we call. Are you still confused?
No, I don't, teacher.
All right. Uh, how do you, okay, slide. I don't know. If you look for the slide, okay, if you go to Google, hold on. Okay, let me show you this, guys. Look at that. Look at this. This is a slide, okay? Do you see that form? Do you see that form over there of the slide? coming from up to
Yes.
the bottom. Okay, you see that? Okay, check the glide. Do you see it here? You see that? That is a slide. So the voice slides from one tone, high tone, you see this is high tone, to low tone. Is sliding. So that is a glide. Let me know if you have another question. I'm here to answer.
For me was that kind of when we ask about shift and slide or glide, that was the reason I asked teacher, this you mean slide or yes,
Right, right.
because for me, as I know, my job when we change, for example, morning shift or mentioning before, and that
Uh-huh.
maybe it's the same for him. It is slide and slide because a slide is like when you say you cross from one side to another. I know a sliding door that you just like push your hands and go to one side to another. That
Yes.
was my main confusion. That was the reason I decided to ask just to be clear what was the difference.
Yes, don't worry. Yes, I understand. That is fine. All right. So guys, here we finish the class. Make sure that you study and watch the
Teacher.
video game. Yes, you have a question, Samuel?
No,
My internet connection is so slow today.
Don't worry, Andy. That's fine.
teacher.
Uh-huh.
Uh, put me excuse for Friday because the next Friday is my church camping. This
Uh-huh.
year is virtual and is just for Friday is at 7. It's at 7. Put me excuse for Friday.
All right. Don't worry. That's fine.
Okay.
All right. So guys, I will see you then and take care.
Okay, likewise,
Okay, goodbye.
All right.
Take care.